Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And today we'll be reading about one of the biggest music sensations. We have quite heard a lot about him in the previous years. Uh, we'll be reading about Yashraj Mukhate. So many of us know him through social media platforms. Uh, so he is available in YouTube as YB Mukhate, in Instagram as Yashraj Mukhate, and in Facebook as YM Studios page. So let's get right into their story. Yashraj Mukhate, from engineer to popular music composer. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. Henry Ford. Have you heard the story of the balloon seller and the little boy? It bears retelling. There was once a balloon seller who sold helium filled balloons near a children's park. One day, out of curiosity, a young boy asked the scaler, sorry. Mhm. Have you heard the story of the balloon seller with the little boy? It bears retelling. There was once a balloon seller who sold helium filled balloons near a children's park. One day, out of curiosity, a young boy asked the seller, will a black balloon reach the same height as a red, yellow, or other bright colored balloons? The seller smiled and said, let me show you how high this black balloon can fly. To the boy's surprise, the black balloon reached high into the sky. Pointing a finger towards black balloon in the sky, the seller said, that balloon is not flying because of its color. It is flying because of what is inside. The moral of the story is our mindset defines where we reach in life. In 2012, Yashraj Mukhate was rejected at the audition for Indian Idol, the most popular singing show in India. However, he bounced back, and by 2021, at the age of 25, he was one of the most popular singers composers in the country. Though many people noticed Yashraj in 2021, his rising popularity had already started the year before. In 2020, Yashraj's Mashup Rasode Mein Kaun Tha caught the attention of many Bollywood personalities and made him an internet sensation. In 2021, his mashup Pauri Ho Rahi Hai grossed 64 million views in just 2 months and made him a household name. The same year, many other exciting things happened. National media channels such as NDTV covered Yashraj. He won the prestigious Mirchi Trendsetter of the Year award and was included in the prestigious Grazia Cool list of 2021. Anu Malik, a judge on Indian Idol from 2004 to 2028, from 2004 to 2018, welcomed him to his own home, appreciating his work. Yashraj also had the opportunity to interview his role model, legendary music composer A.R. Rahman. As of April 2021, more than 7 million people follow Yashraj on various social media channels. Beyond being an emerging celebrity in the music world, Yashraj has become a preferred jingle creator for brands like Tata Sky, Dream 11, Wakefit, and many others. This is the story of Yashraj Mukhate, a musician from Aurangabad who used the power of the internet to create a unique path for himself. The beginning. Yashraj was born on 28 November 1995 in Aurangabad. His father, Bhushan Raj Mukhate, is a real estate businessman, while his mother, Vaishali Mukhate, runs a clothing business. His elder sister, Kalyani Mukhate, went on to become an architect. Bhushan Raj Mukhate loves music and, as a hobby, would perform with orchestras at local functions. Yash Raj thus spent hours listening to music right from childhood. When he was 3 years old, his father gifted him a musical keyboard. The keyboard fascinated him, and Yashraj began spending hours with the instrument. Seeing Yashraj's interest, his father began teaching him the basics of music. Soon, little Yashraj began to accompany his father to various events, and at the age of 3, gave his first stage performance with his father. Within a few years, Yashraj was performing every week at local church. These public performances helped to boost his self confidence. Yashraj wanted to become a musician, but his mother wished him to be an engineer. So he decided to follow a middle path. Because of his interest in music, he considered studying sound engineering. However, he was unable to find a suitable program, so he opted for electronics and telecommunications, as most modern musical devices have electronic parts. He did a diploma at MIT College of Engineering, Aurangabad, followed by a Bachelor of Engineering at Sinhagad College, Pune. While in, while in college, also performed at birthday parties and marriage functions. His exposure not only helped to further boost his self confidence, but also earned him some pocket money. After completing his engineering degree in 2018, he told his parents that he would like to follow his passion for music. Steve Jobs once said, "If you really look closely, most overnight successes took a long time." Yash Raj's journey was similar. He started his YouTube channel in 2009. Until 2018, he had only 24,000 views. But from 2019 onwards, things changed. Now every video he posts crosses a million views. There are many valuable lessons to be learned from the evolution of Yashraj Mukhate as a personal brand. Here are some of them. Don't give up. If you thought you could do something very well and people around you appreciated your craft and then suddenly you failed publicly, how would you feel? Devastated. Devastated. Certainly. But for how long? If you remained sunk in depression and disappointment, you could lose yourself and the track you were following. But if you were to stand up quickly and fight back like a sports person, you can change the final outcome. Growing up, Yashraj loved listening to singers and musicians and wanted to become one. At school, he was active in every opportunity to do the singing and playing instruments. At home, he would record his voice samples over and over again. Says ruefully, "I was a terrible singer, but with practice, I improved." He spent early mornings, nights, and even and weekends practicing. Eventually, he began to improve. With time, people in Aurangabad began recognizing Yashraj's talent and suggested he participate in Indian Idol. There have been many Indian Idol contestants who went on to have successful careers in Bollywood. Yashraj's father had not been able to pursue his dream of becoming a professional musician because of the lack of suitable platforms in the past. He felt Indian Idol could be a launchpad for his son. Using his network of contacts, Bhushan Raj Mukhate arranged an audition at Indian Idol. On the day of the audition, father and son left Aurangabad at 6 a.m., filled with hope. When they reached Mumbai at 10 a.m., they found hundreds of candidates had come to audition. They also discovered that the preliminary round would be judged by the show's producers, not the judges. Having waited for 3 hours, Yashraj was called in. Before he could complete one line, he was asked to stop. His glorious vision was shattered. His father was disappointed. Yashraj did not understand where he had gone wrong and why he had not been allowed to sing the entire song, or at last enough to show what he could do. Returning home to Aurangabad, he said to his father, "This route is not for me. I will create my own path through the internet. That was 2012. There were no examples of any artist making it big without a platform like Indian Idol, and that too through the internet. Bhushan Raj Mukhate was not confident how things would turn out, but he appreciated Yashraj's confidence and encouraged him, saying, maybe something better and bigger is waiting for you. Study your heroes. Legendary investor Warren Buffett once said, if you tell me who your heroes are, I'll tell you how you are gonna turn out. Role models or heroes are necessary for self improvement. They influence our actions and motivate us to reveal our true potential and conquer our weaknesses. This was so far Yashraj as well. By following his role models, Yashraj has worked on his craft for thousands of hours and improved enormously. Today, music composers come from various backgrounds. Some have master's degree in film music, while others have never taken a formal course. Yashraj belongs to the latter category. He says, there's no right or wrong way to start a journey. There's no perfect background, upbringing, or education that makes a great music composer. You will suffer your own setbacks and disappointments, and you will achieve your own successes and triumphs. What will make you great are your role models, your dedication in following them, and the practice you put into becoming an artist. Among Yashraj's role models are Amit Trivedi and A.R. Rahman. He listens to their songs. He tries to understand how they play their notes and the emotion in their performance. Developing a musical approach to a film scene requires multiple considerations, such as the physical surroundings and environment, a character's personality, thoughts and feelings at that moment, and so on. To understand all these aspects, Yashraj watches films songs many times. If for any reason the scene gets reordered, then the music composer faces the task of substantially altering the structure of his music. It's never easy to reorder existing music to play with reordered scenes. To understand the approaches of famous music composers, Yashraj listens to their interviews and notes down their strategies. He says, I noticed Amit Trivedi's work in Devdi. Since then, I have found his every small or big, popular or underrated work and studied it as deeply as I can. He is amazing. A.R. Rahman has been an inspiration to Amit Trivedi right from the beginning. Yashraj noticed the name of A.R. Rahman when he listened to the songs of the film Jane Tu Ya Jane Na. In the course of his research, he found that A.R. Rahman was the music director of popular films like Roja and Dil Se. Yashraj says, A.R. Rahman's portfolio is vast. I would need a lifetime to study it properly. I worship him like God. When it comes to music, A.R. Rahman has often expressed his appreciation for Eli- Elijah Raja. So Yashraj too studied the work of Elijah Raja. Music is produced in beats, bars, and phrases. A bar is a group of beats, and a phrase is a group of bars. One of Yashraj's techniques for practicing is to dismantle a piece of music and put it back together. Every day he spends several hours studying and dissecting components of music that has caught his ear. He listens carefully to his own creation of imperfections, the effect of various musical instruments, background noises, mouth sounds, pitch inaccuracies, etc. Every day is filled with trials and errors. If I am unhappy with the outcome, I keep on reworking till I am satisfied. Yashraj says, with complete dedication, Yashraj has also recreated the music of many famous musicians with a variety of instruments. To connect the dots, first collect the dots. After Steve Jobs' speech at Stanford University, connect the dots became a famous phrase. But to connect the dots, you have to first collect the dots. The rise in digital content has made YouTube a crowded place. When there are so many creators, there are multiple videos on similar topics. This vast content is also the repository of a vast number of ideas or dots, which could be connected in various forms and shapes to create something new and unheard of. On one of the approaches that has helped Yashraj in consuming a lot of content, he says, the more content I consume, the more ideas I get. He listens to regional music, musicians of different generations, and even musicians of other countries. He got the idea of making meme songs from Dub Sharma, known for his work in the Bollywood film Gully Boy. He got many ideas from a music based MTV mini series called Sound Trippin', hosted by Sneha Khanwalkar. In this show, she travels to places like Punjab, Banaras, Goa, Leh, etc., collecting sounds of local singers and musicians and creating a final piece of music that resonates with the feel and sound of that location. By watching the videos of an Iranian musician, Yashraj learned a cappella, a a musical voice form that has no instrumental accompaniment. His a cappella performance on a Bahubali song using a broom and water tank became very popular on the internet. Yashraj says, learn from others, but don't try to copy them. Create your own style. Don't follow something that is in trend because 100 more people are thinking in that direction. To stand out, you need to bring exclusivity in your work. With the internet penetrating small towns and villages, it is often difficult to balance what a creator wants to create and what his audience wants to watch. Yashraj suggests focusing on something niche, liked by a small audience. He believes that if a small audience loves your work, then they then bring more people to your channel. At the same time, he loves experimenting. So, along with his proven and training work, he posts experiments and gauges audience response once in a while. Yashraj says everyone has to experiment as there is no progress without experimentation. I have heard that A.R. Rahman has two rooms. In one room, he practices with tried and tested technology, and, and in the other one, he experiments with new technology. Yashraj's discipline has made him one of the most popular music creators in India, and consequently, his fan base has grown and grown. He is devoted to his audience and says, whatever I have achieved is because of my audience. I never take them from for granted. He interacts directly with his audience online by responding to their comments. Besides, he makes sure he is giving his audience quality content. Initially, he tried following a weekly video upload schedule, but found that the forced consistency was creating a compromise on quality. So he decided to post only when he was satisfied with the content. Yashraj says, it's not easy to always come up with fresh content that will be liked by the masses. I understand that every video I put out will not go viral. Sometimes Yashraj gets interesting ideas quickly, and sometimes, even after trying for days and weeks, nothing comes. While creative people cannot pinpoint why great ideas often come to them at unexpected places and unusual times, there's definitely something to letting your brain relax. When Yashraj gets stuck, he forces himself to keep going. But in the absence of expected progress, he takes a nap or goes for a walk. When you relax, your mind subconsciously organizes thoughts and memories, and you may find that an idea that seemed entirely out of your grasp suddenly comes into focus after a rest. Yashraj says, many ideas have clicked with me unexpectedly while taking a shower or watching TV, and I always look forward to such eureka moments. If you don't find a path, create it. Just because a visible path does not exist, or we do not have experience of it from the past, or others say it cannot be done, it does not mean that the thing cannot be done. Sometimes the thrill of trying something new, a positive attitude, and self confidence can create paths that change your life. Something similar happened to Yashraj. Salim Merchant, a former judge of Indian Idol and a famous music composer known for his work in films like Chak De India, posted a contest on social media. Yashraj applied. Salim shared Yashraj's video in his Instagram stories. Yashraj messaged him with a request for a meeting, though he did not expect a response. To his surprise, Salim agreed to meet that Sunday at his studio in Mumbai. When Yashraj met Salim, he told the famous composer about the challenges he faced in composing music. Salim asked him, do you know how to swim? Yashraj replied, yes, very well. Then Salim asked him, were you a good swimmer from day one? To which Yashraj replied, no, I became a good swimmer with practice. Salim suggested he follow the same approach in music composition. Since then, Yashraj has been in touch with Salim through WhatsApp, sharing his work. He says, Salim usually responds after looking at my work, but whenever I don't get a response, I get a feeling that he has not liked my work and I have to improve. As Yashraj lives in Aurangabad, he does not have the luxury of visiting shows and events in Mumbai. So he figured out an interesting approach to connect with artists. He began creating covers of famous songs, and while posting these on social media, he tagged all the artists mentioned in the credit section of the video's description on YouTube. This approach helped him to get noticed by various influential musicians and Bollywood personalities. Yashraj recalls, surprisingly, icons like Vishal Dadlani, A.R. Rahman, Anu Malik, and Amit Trivedi noticed my work as I had tagged them. In August 2020, Yashraj uploaded a 57-second video of him remixing a light-hearted line of dialogue from the Hindi TV serial Saath Nibhana Sathiya. This mashup, Rasadu Mein Kaun Tha, got almost 10 million views within a week. When he uploaded the video, he had 24,000 followers on Instagram and roughly 8,000 subscribers on YouTube. In less than a week, these numbers crossed 600,000 mark on both platforms. The video was shared by the likes of singer Pratik Kuhad and actors Rajkumar Rao, Tapsi Pannu, and Varun Dhawan. As a pleasant surprise, Yashraj received a message from Bollywood director Anurag Kashyap to say he had checked out Yashraj's work. Anurag shared his number and said, let's connect. Yashraj is a big fan of Anurag Kashyap. His films like Black Friday, Devdi, and Gangs of Wasipur have been on his favorites list. For the next 2 days, he could not sleep, waiting to meet Anurag. As soon as the COVID lockdown eased, Yashraj traveled to Mumbai to meet Anurag. Yashraj shared his new work with him. Anurag asked Yashraj about his role models. When Yashraj mentioned Amit Trivedi, Anurag immediately called Amit and scheduled a meeting with him that same day. Yashraj says it was it was Teachers' Day. Meeting two of the icons of Bollywood, whom I consider my teachers, on this auspicious day was a God sent opportunity for me. In March 2021, around the festival of Holi, messaged Anu Malik requesting him for a meeting. To his surprise, Anu Malik responded and welcomed him warmly to his house. During this meeting, Yashraj told him, 10 years ago, I didn't get a chance to see you as I was rejected in the Indian Idol audition. Today I consider myself fortunate to meet you. Appreciating Yashraj's journey, Anu Malik said, everything happened for a reason. If you had not been rejected, you might have not discovered your unique path. After meeting Anu Malik, Yashraj called famous stand-up comedian Zakir Khan and asked him for a meeting. Zakir had noticed Yashraj's work, so he happily agreed to meet for dinner. Over dinner, Zakir guided Yashraj on how to handle brand deals and grow as an artist. That same month, Yashraj heard that A.R. Rahman was visiting Mumbai to promote the film 99 songs. Yashraj created a cover of one of the songs from the film and tagged A.R. Rahman and his team on social media. Then he messaged the film team for an opportunity to interview A.R. Rahman. He got the opportunity. Yashraj says, if you follow a crowded path, then you have to be exceptionally talented to surpass the competition. On the other hand, the internet allows you to put your work in the public domain. You never know, some of your work might go viral and bring you surprises you had never expected. Enjoy short term success, but don't lose long term focus. American football player Curtis Martin once said, never let a short term desire get in the way of a long term goal. When people become successful, it is natural for them to become inclined towards their short term desires while ignoring their long term goals. However, if one remains focused, one keeps preparing for the future. If you look closely, you will find that artists who stay relevant in the long term run do not get into the comfort zone with the short term achievements. At a very young age, Yashraj received a lot of attention due to his viral mashups. He says, I knew short content always works as Instagram is all about short content. But I didn't know that my short videos would become so big. But this was not my ultimate aim. I wanted people to hear my music, which I attached to the dialogues. He knows that these memes or mashup videos attract audiences, so he has to create them. But he also knows that this trending content has a short shelf life. To build a long-term career, he has to compose complete songs. Composing involves a higher degree of uncertainty. A musician starts most of his projects with no idea what the finished score will sound like. As a composer, he would like to think that inspiration will strike quickly, but writing something memorable does not happen often. Typically, a composer has to sit down with musical instruments and experiment with notes and sounds until he discovers something he can develop. Yashraj says, every time I do something out of my comfort zone, I doubt whether I will be able to do it. But this doubt also helps me to navigate things better. When Yashraj is tied to a production schedule for a brand jingle or a television show, he has to generate ideas immediately. He says, when brands were not there, I used to work at my own pace and get a lot of creative satisfaction. Now I have deadlines. Also, I have to keep reporting to brands on my progress, which is uncertain in the creative world. To adapt to the demanding situation, Yashraj thinks practice is the only solution. Even when he doesn't have a deadline, he challenges himself to develop a theme or melody on a strict timeline. He likes to see what he can produce when he gives himself only 1, 2, or 3 weeks to create something. Yashraj says, often nothing happens for the whole day, and I have to go to sleep restless. It can be emotionally exhausting to continue a musical journey without support and feedback from the audience. Therefore, growing musicians simply cannot restrict their work to themselves. They need to publish their work through social media and other fora. Artists may receive criticism of their work, but they cannot let criticism take over. They need to work on their skills constantly. There is no substitute for practice. Yashraj says, my meme videos bring the audience to my channel. There, the audience explores my other work, and I get to know their feedback. However, he is careful about what he presents to his audience. He believes one bad piece can stop audiences from returning. So he focuses on quality work over quantity. On his computer, the folder of his deleted work is 10 times bigger than the folder of his published work. So this was the story of the one of the biggest sensations in music of from 2020 till current time. So this was Yashraj Mukhate's story, and again at the end there is a conclusion and some perspectives of Yashraj Mukhate mentioned in this book. So go purchase this book from the link down in the description, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for listening and watching.